Okay, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Today we are going to talk about the second group. It's called Mad Badal and it comes under Mad Asli. And again here, this Mad is only going to be stretched to 2 counts. I have my screen blank over here, so I'm going to use the screen to explain to you what Mad Badal is. If you take the word Amanu, okay, if you take the word Amanu, the first letter of the this is a word, right? Amanu is the word. The first letter of the word is a Hamza. Okay, Hamza. And the second letter is a Mad letter. Okay, the second letter is a Mad letter. But in reality, what was the actual structure of this word was, it was a Hamza followed by another Hamza. It was a Hamza followed by another Hamza with a sukoon on it. Okay, Mim, Noon, Waw. So this was the actual structure of the word. Okay, the actual structure of the word was a first Hamza. The first Hamza is with a haraka, and the second Hamza with a sukoon on it. Okay, now it was very hard in pronouncing a word where there are 2 Hamzas following each other with the second Hamza having a sukoon, because remember, Hamza has shidda in it, the sifat of shidda. And when you connect the 2 Hamzas, you have to give it its strength. And it becomes little hard and the flow of the recitation is affected. Okay, so for ease in recitation, for making the recitation easy on the tongue, because remember, Islam is a religion of ease. It makes it easy for the believer. Everything is made. Allah has tailored it so that it is not tough for us. Subhanallah. Even in here, this recitation here, you cannot say amanu all the time, right? Because you have amanu coming everywhere. So what happened? They did a badal. Badal means exchange. They exchanged this second Hamza and they put in its place a vowel. They put in its place a mad letter. And the mad letter is alif. That's why you should know the difference between the word alif, the straight line, and the difference between a hamza. Because in our Indo-Pak, we have a straight line, and and if it has fatha dama kasra, we call it alif fatha, alif kasra. But this is actually hamza. This is hamza. In the Indo-Pak Mus'haf, this is a hamza. Okay. In the Arabic Mus'haf, this is a hamza, or this is a hamza, or this is a hamza, or this is a hamza. So this is the way they write hamza in the Arabic Mus'haf, right? We write hamza like this, or we write hamza in the Indo-Pak Mus'haf in this manner. Okay, but this is a hamza here. So what did they do in Mad Badal? What did they do in Mad Badal? They replaced the second hamza that had the sukoon with a mad letter. And now when you read it, this is so easy to read. You read amanu, okay, not amanu. So it becomes easier. So it's an ease in recitation. So this, okay, and keep in mind, this alif is placed here. Why? Because alif is the mad that stretches what? The haraka of the fatha. Alif is the mad that alif cannot lengthen. Sorry, alif is raised. I said raise. Alif lengthens the sound of the fatha on the hamza before it. Okay, so I hope that is clear. Okay, now the next one we're going to do is the same mad badal, So the badal here happened. The second hamza with the sukun was replaced by a mad letter, that is an alif. Okay, now I'm going to show you another word where there is badal happening, but this time the first hamza has a kasra. The first hamza has a kasra. Okay. The first hamza here. Okay. Why is it disappearing? Okay. Okay. The word is okay. Okay. The word is the first word here. The first word here is okay. The E word is imanan. So imana. So first is a hamza, which is mutaharrik, which has a kasra, and it is followed by another hamza here. It's followed by another hamza with a sukoon on it. And the rest of the word is mim alif ma and noon with a tanween. Okay. The badal happens here at the second hamza here. So what did I do here? What do I do here? I will replace the second hamza with a mad letter, and that mad letter has to match what? Has to match the haraka. So what matches the haraka of kasra is ya. So the mad letter is ya. Imanan. Okay, imanan. So the alif was replaced, the hamza was replaced by the mad letter ya. Based on what? Based on the haraka of the first hamza. So here badal, mad badal is happening at the second hamza, and the second hamza is replaced by a mad letter ya. Why? Because the first hamza has a kasra. Okay. Okay, the next third example. So this is mad badal with a ya. Now let's look at mad badal with with the wow mad. Okay, so the first word here is okay. The word is to. Okay, to. Now look at the sign on the first letter. It is a dhamma. So I'm going to now replace. We are going to now replace this hamza here with a mad letter based on the harakat of the first hamza. So what will go with the harakat of the first hamza? Dhamma, waw will go, right? So now I'm going to write so now the second hamza from here was replaced with a waw. This waw here, this waw mad here, and this goes with the dhamma on the first hamza. So instead of saying tu, I will say utu. See how easy it is? Utu. The first example we did was amanu. Instead of saying amanu, instead of saying imanan, instead of saying utu, we said amanu imanan utu. See the ease? Subhanallah, mashallah. Everything was made easy for us. So this is mad badal. Okay. We can stop the recording. Okay. Okay, our next topic today is going to be on the second group, the third group now, which is called, so far we did mad tabi, we did mad iwad, we did mad badal, and the next one, which is the fourth one, is mad sila sugra. Okay, so mad sila sugra. So what is mad sila sugra? Let's read what the definition here is, and I'll explain it more in detail. It is a mad that comes from the vowel on a pronoun, or a pronoun that is a possessive pronoun, okay, an attached pronoun, and that pronoun, it is not part of the original word. Keep in mind, it's not part of the original word. It is an attached pronoun, and it is a third person attached male pronoun. Okay, third person male singular attached pronoun. So it is got to do with the damir. Remember we call it, the pronoun is called a damir, and a male pronoun is called damir muddakir, right? Muddakir. And that is got to do with the third person, so ghaib. So it's the third person attached male singular pronoun. I forgot to say singular. Singular means for one person. That could be him, his, right? Him or his, or it also. For you, when you have a third person attached male pronoun, and how do you write it? As who. It's written as the letter who. You have for the female pronoun the letter ha, but for the male pronoun the letter who. So a ha at the end of the last letter, that is not part of a who actually here. At the end of the at the end of the word, that is not a part of the original makeup of the word, representing the singular third person male. It is voweled with a dhamma or a kasra. Okay, and it is positioned between two vowel letters. So let me explain this. What they are trying to say here is, now let's look at this example here. If you look at the example here, it says, ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب. Okay, so if you look at the word, if you look at the sentence, the word that is underlined here, you see maluhu. Okay, maluhu, the who is an attached pronoun to the word malu, right? Malu. Mal, from the word mal, that is wealth. His wealth. Maluhu, the who is telling that this wealth belongs to him. The wealth belongs to him. That is his wealth. It's a possessive thing, pronoun here. That is, it's showing the relationship between malu and who. But don't worry about that. Just you look at the who there. This is a third person singular male attached pronoun, and it is attached to the word malu. Okay, and it shows possession, his wealth. Now this, when you see this who, the condition that it has to be stretched to 2 counts, it can be stretched to 2 counts based on a condition where before the letter who, the letter before the letter who has to have a haraka, and the letter after the letter who also has to have a haraka. So if the letter before who doesn't have a haraka, it has a sukoon, then this rule will not apply. Okay, so for the rule of Mad Sila Sugra to apply, the letter before the attached pronoun who has to have a haraka, a fatha, a dhamma, or a kasra, and the letter after it also has to have a haraka. Okay, it has to have a fatha, dhamma, or a kasra. If it has a sukoon, then it will not apply. Okay, keep that in mind. So this is, now look at the letter before who, it has a dhamma. First condition met. The letter after it also has a haraka. Second condition met. The third condition is, it should not be followed by a hamza. If it's followed by a hamza, then it is no more stretched to 2 counts. It's stretched to 4 counts or 5 counts. Then the rule changes. Okay. So this Mad Sila Sugra, what you need to keep in mind is, you should first identify the attached male singular pronoun, ghayab, and then look for the letter before it. Does it have a haraka? Yes, if it has a haraka. Then look at the letter after it. Does it have a haraka? Yes, if it has a haraka, then the rule will apply. So that's the reason why you stretch the maluhu to 2 counts, because the letter before it has a haraka. The letter before who here is lam, it has a dhamma, and the letter after who is a waw, and it has a fatha. Both are having harakas, and then you will stretch it. Okay, and now this is one way you will see the rule here. You will see the who written. Now sometimes you will see a he written. Okay, the ha is not going to always come with a who, because remember there's ease in recitation. Why does it come in the shape of a he if the letter before it has a kasra? Okay, let me see if I can pull that out. Okay. Fihi hudan. Okay. This is a different. This is just trying to show you the sack in here. In fihi, in here it is fihi. Here refers to the he again is a pronoun. Okay, look at this one. This actually is a attached pronoun. It has a kasra. Why does it have a kasra? Because the letter before it has a ya. When the letter before it has a ya, or the letter before it has a kasra, the who will become a he. Okay, the who will become a he, because it's very hard to say fi who. To make it easy, it is easier to say fi he, right? Fi he, than to say fi who. So that's the reason why they give the who. The actual structure of the word, the actual damir is who, but it gets a kasra if the letter before it has a sukoon. If the letter before it has a ya, if the letter before it is a ya, or if the letter before it has a kasra. Okay, so if the letter before it has a ya sukoon, or the letter before it has a kasra, this who will become a he. Okay, keep that in mind. Now in this case, in this example, here you see a damir, the damir he here, and the rule of Mad Sila Sugra will not apply, because remember the condition was the letter before the damir should have a haraka. Here the letter before the damir he, has a sukoon, and the letter after it has a haraka, but the letter before it doesn't have a haraka. That's why the rule of Mad Sila is not applied. Okay, that's the reason why the rule of Mad Sila is not applied. Okay, now again, why is the rule of Mad Sila Sughra not applied? In these examples, in Surah Al-Araf, ayah number 111, here it's not applied because the ha is not got a dhamma. It's a ha sakina. Okay, it's not a. Okay, though I think it is a command here. Okay, this is a command word. So قالوا أرجح وأخاه. So here the ha has a sukun. Remember the structure of the word of the damir is either a hu with a dhamma or a ha with a kasra on it. Okay, so that's the reason why here there is no matsila sughra, because the ha has a sakina. Okay, the next one is from Surah Al-Namal, ayah number 28. فَأَلْقِهِ. Here again the ha has a sakina. Then cast it. Actually, it is cast it. It is actually cast. Cast it ilayhim, towards them. Okay. The meaning of the word is you then cast it towards them. So actually the ha here is actually a ha damir, but it has a sukoon here. So that's the reason why the madsila sughra is not applied. So remember and keep this in mind, sisters. The madsila sughra is applied for a who or a he. Let me write this down so that it becomes more clearer to you. Madsila sughra is applied take a new note. Okay, so you have to keep in mind this is a letter, the who here, right? The attached who. Okay, and it can be a he. When does it come as a he? If the letter before it has a ya on it, which has a sukoon, or if the letter before it has a kasra. That's when it gets a he. That's when it gets a he. The ha gets a he if the letter before it has a kasra, or if the letter before it has a ya sukoon. Otherwise, the default damir is a who. Okay, the default damir is a who, and the who is in attached damir, and it is male. It is a male damir, male absent singular. Okay, it's male absent and it is singular. Okay, so, and you have to keep in mind the who, the letter before the who has to have a haraka. The letter after the who has to have a haraka. So the rules of this who being stretched to 2 counts is the letter before it has to have a haraka. The letter after it has to have a haraka. Okay, and it should not be followed by a hamza. The who should not be followed by a hamza. If it's followed by a hamza, then it becomes matsila kubra. It becomes matsila kubra. Okay. Okay. So that should be clear now, inshallah. We'll go back to our page and then we will review it again. So hopefully now it is clear. There are exceptions to the rules of matsila sughra, and we're going to discuss that now. I'm going to pull it up for you so that it makes... Okay, I'm having issues with my internet. Alhamdulillah alladhi ala kulli hal. Yes, I'm having issues with my internet, so I'm not able to pull it up, inshallah, but we will go through the exceptions again, inshallah. Inshallah, when I can open up the page to show it to you. But for right now, we will stop, inshallah. I'm not able to open it up. Okay, now you see the exceptions to this rule, okay? Because normally, as I said, the normal thing is the mad is stretched to 2 counts. If the letter before it has a haraka, the letter after it has a haraka, and it is not followed by a hamza, right? So, but there are exceptions to this rule. as in Surah Al-Zumur. Here, if you see this here, you have the word وَإِن تَشْكُرُوا يَرْضَهُ لَكُمْ. Okay, you have the letter Hu attached to the word Yarda, right? You have the letter, the Damir Hu is attached to the word Yarda, and it's meeting all the conditions. The Hu before the letter Hu, the Dad has a Fatha, so it has a Haraka. The letter after the Hu, the Lam has a Haraka, which is a Fatha here. So it should have been stretched to 2 counts. It should have been stretched to 2 counts because it's meeting all the conditions, but it is not. Okay, but it is not being stretched. So this is an exception to the rule. And Alhamdulillah, in the Quran, we don't have to be worried about this because you don't see the small waw that follows a hu when you have to make a mad sila sugra. Okay, here you don't see the small waw. So you know, okay, you're not going to stretch it. So it is not something you need to worry about because the way the script of the Quran is, it makes it easy for us. But when you are tested, when you are going to take an ijaza, you need to know that Surah Al-Zumur, ayah number 7, it has this exception to the rule, and you need to point that out. Okay, here, now look at the next example in Surah Al-Furqan. Okay, now look at the word here. Okay, here you see يضاعف له العذاب يوم القيامة ويخلد فيه مهانا. ويخلد فيه. Look at the word فيه. The ha is a ha which is a damir. It is a damir. It got a kasra. Why did this damir get a kasra? Because the letter before it is a ya sakina. Okay, the letter before it is a ya sakina. Any damir that is attached to a letter, with any damir which is attached to a word, and the letter before the damir has a kasra, then the hu, which is a default, will become a he. Okay, it will become a he. Here, this has become a he because of the ya sukun before it. Now, if you look at the rules, the ha, the damir has to have a letter before it that has a what? That has a haraka. And the letter after it has to have a haraka. Here, the letter before it doesn't have a haraka. It has a sukun. So what would you do normally? You would say, okay, the rule of mad sila sugra will not apply. The rule of mad sila sugra will not apply. Why? Because the letter before he has a sukun. But in this case, this is an exception. Here you will pull it. Here you are going to pull it, though it doesn't meet the guidelines. So it is pulled to fihi muhana. Okay, so this is a second exception. So keep this in mind. This is a second exception. Again, we lost our connection, and then again we are connected back again. Subhanallah, when we try to learn in under these conditions, and they are not difficult conditions, it's just that the internet is giving some issues here. But alhamdulillah, we conveyed whatever we had to give the extra information. Alhamdulillah, by Allah's rahmah. So that was the second exception. Okay, so okay, where was I now? Okay, fihi muhana. Okay, so this is the next. So two places here, Al-Zumur and Al-Furqan. Here there are exceptions. So keep that in mind. Al-Zumur, ayah number 7. Al-Furqan, ayah number 69. And even if you don't remember this, it's okay. It's okay because here you have, in the first example, you don't see the waw after yardahu. You don't see a waw, a small waw. Okay, so you know you don't have to make mad sila sugra. Here you see there is a small ya after the he in fihi. So you know here you need to make the mad. Okay, we will stop here. And inshallah, just keep in mind this ha is got to do with damir, the male damir, and not with the female damir. And you know what is a female damir for singular female, third person absent? It is the ha The ha, which is the like the shape of a bean followed by an alif, right? The ha, that ha, the rule doesn't apply. The rule of Mad Sila Sugra doesn't apply to the female ha. So keep that in mind, and we are done for today. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. آمين يا رب العالمين. جزاك الله خير.